Hey guys, welcome back to yet another episode of HoneyLemonTea. I don't know what episode number this is, but I'm the chai wala for the day. But before we start with the video, hit the subscribe button, get us to 100 subscribers. If you don't follow us on Instagram, go down to our description, follow us there too. Right. So today is going to be interesting. So these guys already know what the topic is. If you guys don't know how this format works, too late. Go to our previous episodes. But these guys know what the topic is. They don't know what the topic is going to be about. But today we're going to do something different. Up until now, all of our ingredients have been questions. So something that we made to be thought about. Today, I'm going to bring back memories that we may have wanted to forget. And so so the topic for today is, what do Indian parents say? And of course, you would have known that already with the thumbnail and the title. But I'm going to say a few things. Of course, this is going to be in English because... Just because.
Right.
So the thing Indian parents say will be in English because in my home it would have been in Malayalam. In neither of your homes it would have either been in Gujarati or Hindi. So to keep it united.
United, secular, out of regionalism.
Yeah, we're going to keep it English. So I'm going to say one thing and you're going to tell me if you relate to it. It doesn't even have to be your parents, to be honest. It could be someone, a relative of yours, or just something you've heard. And we'll find out what do parents get out of saying this. All right.
What do parents get out of saying this?
Yeah, what do they get?
Nice.
Very interesting.
Getting to the bottom of it all.
So to start off with, the classic denial is what we're going to start off with. Each of these statements have a title.
Yeah.
Nice.
So the first is the classic denial. Is when you're fighting or when you're arguing with them, they say, we're not your enemies, We want this to
This
be
is the best for you.
Yeah, this is just
We want
good
the best
for
for
you.
Yeah.
And so what are your memories with... Do you remember hearing this?
Ooh, boy. I feel like for everything.
Basically, like wherever maybe you're straying down the wrong path, or maybe you're not studying your 2 hours in a day but playing 5 hours in a day. Hey, you got to balance the studies and the playing time because तेरे भले के लिए ही बोल रहे हैं.
Yeah, but like this usually comes out like at least...
It starts with the mobile phone, I feel.
Yeah.
That's where it starts.
It's usually a decision that you really want or like don't want.
Oh yes.
And it's... They play this card of,
me at PS5. I mean, back in the day, PS2.
Is that why you never had a console?
Yes. That's why I finally bargained my way to an iPad. Like, I had to go through each and every possible strategy. And then we finally agreed upon iPad because I could play games, but I could also use it for studies.
Right. So, well, that's interesting for you.
For me, it was the phone or the iPod back in the day. Where I just want to listen to music all night because, I don't know, sleep was never a thing when you're in school. So you sleep 2 hours and still feel fresh in the morning, but somehow parents don't get that.
Good old
I think
days.
they're old. But yeah.
For me, it was... sorry, you saying?
Mostly with the phone.
For me, it was how I couldn't watch TV until summer vacation. And
What? Like for the entire year?
Yeah.
Only in summer vacation you're allowed.
And like Saturday, Sunday. So Friday night, Saturday night. Sunday night is because Monday is a school morning. So I couldn't. So yeah, twice a week. Except I bargained my way through that. In my school, we had a quiz competition and they told us to watch Animal Planet. So for the next 5-6 years, that's all I did. Every day. That quiz competition never showed up.
Actually.
Yeah. That quiz competition never showed up. I watched Animal Planet for the next 5-6 years while my brother couldn't watch TV.
To be fair, I mean, it's worked for you because you really enjoy animals right now.
That's true.
He's got a lot of animal tattoos also, to be fair.
Yeah. I do. So that's the first statements. We have 10. We'll see how long this episode goes on for, and then we can cut it short. The second is the Trauma Olympics.
Oh, okay.
Where
Trauma Olympics.
Yeah, where they start off it when I was your age.
Oh.
And then what is the best when I was your age story you've heard from your parents?
It's like nothing existed before. Light नहीं था, हम एक पेड़ के नीचे पढ़ाई करते थे.
I feel like that would be your grandparents.
No, I feel like, I don't know, my dad has come from the depths of hell where he's struggled so much, where anything you do is basically worthless. So he used to tell me where for his CA exam, he would study for 14 hours a day. Right?
Well,
that's the example
yeah.
my mom would give me, and I would struggle getting by 2 hours. I'd be like,
I mean, but this is like when you're a kid.
yeah.
हमारी भी यही हालत है भाई. 14 घंटे काम तो कभी-कभी हो ही जाता है. But very interestingly when you bring this up, I think of what I will tell my kids. because like when we were in college or whatever, and a lot of times like because of the amount of rains that used to take place in Manipal, you would literally be walking
that's
through
true.
like
True,
a bit of a mini stream,
That's true.
and you'd climb uphill because the hostels were downhill,
Yeah.
and then you'd climb up to the lecture halls. So that's,
Dude,
that's
but
what
we
I'll
do
say.
this in some form anyways. Like when we see kids in the apartment not playing downstairs, the first thought we have is when we were kids,
Yeah.
we used to play. And so we already do this in some form.
I mean, like even in Samruddhi, for example, which is our apartment, shout out Sriram Samruddhi, doxed. Like when kids play, like when we used to play back in the day, and like the security would keep coming and stopping us,
We would
and
continue
we'd-
playing.
Yeah, and we'd keep fighting against like the securities. But the kids nowadays are just like, okay,
Too
and
soft,
they go,
huh?
and then we give them shit for it.
I'm not saying they're too soft. They might just be obedient.
I don't know. It's this. I don't think I would feel like I would do that to my child for some reason. Because I don't think I've done shit
Ye dekha.
or I've struggled. So, I don't know.
Right? Yeah.
I think the only thing I'd bring up is playing. If they aren't playing
Yeah.
enough, I would say, I used to play so much.
I feel like the context changes, but like every generation
Yeah,
still has
fair.
their version of it.
All right. So that's been the second ingredient. The third is society as a character. And that is, of course, what will people say? If you do this, what will they think? If you do that, what will they say? What will they say story? Or if you have any.
For me, it was never what will people say is like, we itself think you're a dumbass. So at least for us, yeah. So
Right.
I never heard that though from my mom and dad.
For me, it
Happen
was
later.
a lot to do with like if we were to be trying to become cricketers and weren't doing well in our studies, it was about like what will people say if you don't become a cricketer and then you don't have a job. Yeah, it was a bit of a serious one, this one.
For me, more grandparents than parents, to be fair. I think my parents are fairly chill, still are with most things. Like I don't think they give too much of a shit about what other people might think. But like the generation above was still very, like for example, even when we pivoted, like when I left my job and pivoted into this, they were shocked. They were shell shocked. We had to like prepare for a couple of months to break it to them because we're like, what will they like? How will they take it? Types. So yeah, at that generation, yes, but not so much at the parent generation.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I also feel like this what will people say thing. Do you think it happens now also, like in our age, like right now with your parents?
Oh,
I
like,
think it's also if your own subconscious of with social media and stuff like that.
True.
So it might be an internal thing as well.
True. Do you feel like, now that you say it, do you feel like our parents saying that to us is a projection of their own insecurity? Because when you think about this, we are ourselves insecure about what will people say. Like when we do certain things, we think about, right, what will they think?
Yeah.
Do you feel like them saying that to us is a projection of their own insecurity?
Yeah, fair.
Because,
maybe.
Yeah.
for example, if let's say I color my hair, but if I was against people coloring, not against it, but if I didn't like it, if my kid wanted to do it, I would come from my mindset knowing that,
correct.
yeah, I don't like it. And what if others think the same way that I do? Do you feel like that's a thing?
possibly it goes into deeper layers, right? Like you can then talk about their conditioning, what they've grown up with.
True.
Yeah.
And then also it's like the general circles. Like I think our circles are still pretty chill. So we might not hear this as much from our parents. But like I know people who even at the age of like what we are 25, 27, however it is, like you still have these conversations where parents are just up in your business all the time. And I think this is something with Indian parents also as a syndrome where they, even when you're 30, they treat you like a kid. They don't treat you like a separate adult. So
Right.
What it might be is it might, when other people are telling them, okay, my kid got say so and so marks,
Comparison.
it might be a projection on how good their parenting is, and that's also
Oh,
that's a
that
good
is
flaw.
very interesting.
So I feel like that also might be a
for sure. Yeah.
Oh, damn.
condition.
You're 28 now, by the way, no? Where you said
FHR.
27.
Shout out, happy
I
birthday.
was glad actually. I
When you
was
said
like,
27, I'm like, hey, 28 ban gaya.
Age
All right.
also doxed.
Then now we have another ingredient, of course. The title of it is phone hypocrisy.
phone nips,
Phone hypocrisy.
phone hypocrisy.
Yes. All right.
Oh,
And this is the one that you started off with. Are you going to be on your phone all day?
dude,
When I look at my dad,
dude.
Dude, funny incident just happened a couple of weeks back. Okay, we were comparing screen times. Actually, the conversation started with me and my sister using our phones as we do. It was a Sunday or something. And my dad's just like, your screen time must be through the roof today. Show me your screen time.
Yeah.
And so I pulled up mine. It was whatever, 8 hours or something. And my sister's...
He was quite surprised.
I'm shocked.
Actually, no, mine was more. Mine was 11 hours.
Right.
11 hours.
Yeah, but that includes not using the phone all the time. Like, it's just kept on or like
But
music
it's not
is
counted
playing.
as screen
Yeah,
time.
but that's also because like
You
we-
guys have work.
Yes, a
Yeah,
lot
like
of
it was match day and whatever.
yeah.
Fair.
Okay, so fine, but whatever. So my dad started giving me shit for it, and then he's like, "See my screen time. It was 11 hours." So hypocrisy. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. Go ahead, you were saying something.
Yeah, so I have like in school, my mom used to give me a lot of shit for using my phone, and like I used to download YouTube videos and watch it on my Kutti MP4. Okay, and I would get caught. Obviously, there'll be one day you get shit. They suddenly come in the room, but you're like, you're fucked. So then she caught me. But then now it's become the reverse where I slept at about 10 p.m. and I hardly use my phone like for 3-4 hours a day. I slept at 10 p.m. I woke up a little early at like 5. She's still watching, bro, that Korean drama. I was like, what is going on?
Yeah, this K-drama stuff is
That's-
too real.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of mothers do watch it. Like my mom watches it.
Even my mom watches
Apparently it's addictive.
Yeah, it's pretty good also. So I get the
And I taunted my mom like, you used to give me shit in school. Like, what happened? And she's like, shut up. Don't talk to me.
I mean, the difference is she doesn't have to study the next day and get marks. So, if
True.
anything, good on her for
वो
living
तेरे
life.
भले के लिए बोल रही थी, bro.
The next is the goated. It's something like what will people say, but the other way around is Sharma ji's son. Have you seen what he's doing? Have you
Comparison.
seen how many marks he's getting? Have you seen everything that he's doing in his life is so much better than what you're doing in your life?
Yeah.
What was the most, like, of course, marks was a thing, but even within marks, if you were to be specific, was there a subject that you would be compared to? Or was there anything apart from marks that you would be compared to?
I have a story.
Go on.
So this was back in primary school or maybe just secondary, like 5th or 6th, something like that. Every PTM would be the same, right? Where the teacher would say that this kid is smart, he knows everything in the class, he answers, but he doesn't know how to write an answer paper. Like he loses marks or whatever. So my dad would do this very specific thing where he would ask for the topper's exam sheet and he'd just show me how she's written it. Like he'd just be like, just see how she's written it. That's all. That's all you need to do. You know everything. You'll get the
That's
marks.
very sweet.
Yeah, that's very sweet. That's
That's not like that's what. It's not a.
That's a good way to.
Yeah.
And I like how the story is so stuck in your head that you know it's a she, that you know who's the top.
I know who the person is, bro. Yeah.
For you?
For me, if I got 25 out of 30, the first question is like, who got 30 out of 30? That's
Which
That
which
used
is
to
why
happen, yeah.
which is why every time I got less,
Yeah.
I would tell them. So if I got like out of 90, like in math, I would always get around 40, and passing is 33. And I would say like Vedant, who's one of our toppers in the class, I would always say Vedant only got 60. So like 35 when you think about 45 or 45.
Yeah,
When you
I would
think
use
about
this
it
trick
is
too.
Have you ever like you've gotten really low marks and you've just like not taken the paper home?
Oh yeah, so
Yeah.
many times.
But you'd always have to get it signed.
yeah.
I just threw my paper in the school dustbin and I'm like, leave this.
Oh my god.
I can't take this home. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
9 out of 20 geography. Good old days.
And you threw it.
I threw it. Dude. I threw it. I'm like, I'm not taking this home.
Yeah. Even I would be like, ma'am, I lost the notebook. Can't.
Oh, I would always, because I was the best at studies, I would
Oh,
always
yeah.
use the line of how the topper got very less. So like,
fair.
and if the exam was tough and I knew I'm going to get less, I would come back and tell my parents that it was one of the toughest papers. Like Vedant struggled, so imagine me.
I tried this. It works in the start, but over a series of
हर साल करते रहोगे तो
exams. And when they
Yeah.
come with the PTM, they'll know.
Yeah.
They
that is-
know.
yeah.
The best part is, I would always avoid my parents going to the PTM. Like something would always come up.
What?
10th grade, I think my parents went. 9th, 10th, yeah. 11th, 12th, they never showed up.
11th, 12th, I mean, by then you're like,
For you, they showed up.
Oh, the school specifically called them. like, like you better come. Because I think in 11th and 12th, I flunked every math test
nice.
till the last exam.
Huh.
Like, boards I passed.
Yeah,
But
obviously.
till then, I was failing, okay? And then this
Ah.
one exam, this teacher's obviously handing out the papers, obviously announcing everybody's marks. And then she said, Rahul, I'm really proud of you this time. I was like, bro, I would have copied damn nicely. Then today, my mom's gonna like finally be happy for a change.
Huh.
She's like, you've got 35.5 out of 100. This is your highest till now. I didn't know whether to be happy or sad. But yeah, my mom wasn't happy.
Yeah, of course she was.
She started crying in one PTM. I
Damn,
felt really
bro.
bad. And after that, she never came. My dad had to pay the brunt.
Oh,
Yeah.
no. My parents have never cried.
I remember this one incident where, okay, I got 9.5 out of 50. Okay. But I counted, like, the irony of a math teacher not being able to count. Nah.
How much were you supposed to get?
11.5. Okay. So, my mom was like, I think she was really sad. And I was like, okay, it's actually 11.5. She just gave me one look. I coughed. I was like, fuck it.
Too good, dude. Oh my god. I've done that though. I've done this where I've got lesser marks and I go to my parents and I'm like, oh, but they're supposed to add +5. And once my mom was like, show me where the +5 is coming from. And I'm like, hey, that's right to do. Yeah. Alright. So that's Sharma ji's son. Next is confusion combo. Is where they straight up just tell you, oh, I don't think our parents have done this actually. Where they tell you that you can't do this. And it's not that you can't do this where I want to go down to play and you can't do this. Just the fact that you don't have the potential to do
Oh
this.
shit. Okay. No.
No.
Yeah, I think our parents have been super supportive
that's
that
true.
way. Yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise, why
mean-
would we be doing Honey Lemon Tea podcast?
Yeah, I mean, they should have, I feel. Because with no audacity, like I was looking for engineering colleges and for like shamelessly, there was bits. And I applied for that. I didn't write the exam,
Yeah.
but I feel like my dad and mom should have stopped.
Why didn't you write the exam?
I don't know. Like, I knew,
you would
bro.
have been
Like,
into PES by then.
because I
already.
didn't even pass the criteria for the 12th grade marks.
Or okay.
And then we have emotional blackmail, right? This is the 7th ingredient, so we are not going overtime. There's still a lot of time left. Do you know how much we have done for you? Is the line that they throw up every time there's either an emotional argument or something comes up. And do you
See-
know how much we have done for you?
If you break it down logically, right?
Who told you to?
Sure. But in the heat of the moment and the emotions, like I can see where they're coming from now.
Now you
Because,
can
like,
see it.
Yeah.
But back in the day, you're like, but nobody told you to do this.
Yeah, true.
What are you doing? Like, I don't recall it being a big thing. Like, I don't remember it happening a lot.
In our house, it was a big thing because our parents, I would say, do you know how much we have done for you in terms of buying you equipments? We're supporting this cricket dream of yours. Just get some decent marks. So yeah, in our house it was a big thing, and I just see where they're coming from because they're supporting this one dream. The least we could have done is get some good marks. So fair. You?
Fair. Yeah, I think this connects to again the whole how much they've struggled so that you can have
Yeah.
Right.
what they have.
right.
So whenever I leave the light on, they'll be like, "ये पैसे पेड़ पे उगते हैं क्या?" मतलब.
Yeah. I think that is the line. Oh, that's not a line. But that was in a draft that I made. That was a line.
Did not make final cut.
Yeah. Like when we were studying, we didn't have a light. There's only like one bulb for like 8 people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh, that's another interesting topic. Joint families versus nuclear families. Someday.
Fair. Yeah. So I've never been part of a joint family. I would never know. All right. So the 8th is the biggest lie ever said. Just study hard and your life will be set. Get good marks and everything will be okay.
Yeah.
Is something have your parents told you that? For me,
Yeah.
my dad was quite realistic about this. My dad always told me, get enough marks, get to college, and then you'll see. Because of the amount of the grade that my brother and I were at studying. Yeah, I think the expectations were only quite low. So then they just said, just get through school, and then you'll get through to college. Yeah.
Fair. That's nice. No, for me, every exam was like a World Cup final. If I didn't do well in 8th, I'd not go till 10th and I'd not get a good school. If I didn't get good marks in my 10th, I won't get a good school for my 12th. Like that college and then like a job. So it's always been like a pressure match.
I feel like it's so much of a case of like there's a certain kind of messaging that they want to pass on, but because of what they have also like seen around or just heard from their parents, it just comes out in the wrong way.
Yeah,
and I feel like this is a consequence of one of those things.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, you saying that. Oh, you were going to say
No,
something.
go on.
I was going to say, you saying that every exam was a World Cup final is very true because we had a weekly test, like every Monday.
Yeah.
We had and it was out of 20. When I look back on it, I could have failed and nothing would have happened. But man, like if I get bad marks,
Pressure.
like like I've had friends who have cried who got 5 out of 20.
Yeah.
Just because now they have to go home and tell their parents they've got 5 out of 20.
Yeah.
Or like there have been situations where a friend of mine got more than the topper, Vedant. I'm going to name drop him. Varun also. Varun's got more than Vedant. I think in math or something, math or science. It was in something unbelievable.
Okay.
And he was very happy, but it broke my heart because Varun and I would get similar numbers. I got the same number, but Varun beat the topper and it was the biggest deal. And as much as I was happy for him. But there was, I think, one exam before the final, he failed. And I felt bad, but in my head, I'm like, hey, it's okay. ठीक है ना?
Law of
ठीक है
averages.
भाई, होता रहता है.
No, ठीक है for me. I'm like, oh, my marks are fine. No, Varun, feel. But then he got good marks. He got better than me in both. So if I were to finish the story, it might as well. And then we have blame it on the West. I don't know if this would have happened a lot with us, but it's all Western culture. This is what people in the US do. We don't do this. Or this is what, or let's break it down even further. This is what people in their house do. Like they must be doing this in their house. We are not brought up like this. This is what we have to do. Has that happened in your household?
Just like comparing to the West or just generally like in your neighborhood?
Yeah, even neighborhood. Like when if I am not a partying kid, but I'm sure if I went partying, like my parents would say that
Right.
these things are things done by the rich. Or it's because they are rich. I mean, I don't know if they would say it, but I'm just assuming.
Right.
What is that one thing that you were completely against while growing up, but they kept saying like this is how we do it and this is what we do?
I think like more than being completely against, I was just salty. Like
Right,
when I'd
right.
be told no. But looking back, that's also a good thing because now I can handle someone, like I can handle a no.
Right.
I can handle a rejection. Whereas I feel like a lot of kids today, they just get everything they want. And the moment they get their first rejection, they're broken.
But that's also like a percentage of kids whose parents are successful enough to get the kid everything that they want. Like there are kids also, especially like in India.
True. But I think the general culture is also that a parent will go out of their way in this country to do anything for their kid, which is great. Like it's great, but you also have to draw a line somewhere, right?
Yeah,
You can't just like at least with men or like boys, I know they're treated as like the Raja Beta of the house. So like they just get everything.
Interestingly, the chai of the day is something related to that.
Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
Do you have any?
I think it's just comparison to other kids. And if you have a smart friend, that's always a big bummer. Where you'll obviously be asking like how much did Aditya get? And he's obviously like top of the class or whatnot.
Yeah.
And then she'll compare your habits to him. Like say you're down playing for 3 hours. She doesn't see him. He's probably playing at the same time. But then she'll be like, look, at him. He never plays.
Yeah.
He's always studying.
This is why I love Praatibh playing because Praatibh was the smarter one, and my parents could never say, "Look how much Praatibh is playing," because he's playing with me, so I know how much he's playing.
After that, he used to take me to house also. Bro.
Yeah.
YouTube videos.
Yeah, that's true. All right, the 10th ingredient and the final ingredient until we have the chai. The 10th ingredient is the ultimate solution. Again, I don't think this is what our parents would do, but I'm sure there must be a relative of ours who might just say it, but get married and it'll solve all your problems. It's something a lot of parents used to say. I know it's a thing parents still say to a lot of my friends who are girls, but fortunately, like for me, it hasn't been a thing. For you guys, have you heard stories like this? Have you like? I know my friends who their parents think the girls don't have any friends, so their parents would tell the girl that get married, at least you'll have a friend for the rest of your life.
Bruh.
And in my head, I'm like,
What?
yeah, she has a lot of friends. But yeah, have you heard this? Like if you get married, it'll solve your problem kind of thing.
I don't know about solving problem, but just in general getting married. Like, not for me. Like generally for girls, I think more. The moment they're like 23, 24, that conversation does start. Also because I'm from Rajasthan. So it started for me also. But
It
not from my
started
parents.
when
It started
you were
from my
15.
relatives. 5. I got into a good school in first standard. Bhai, iski the salary
sorted.
बहुत बढ़िया होगी.
It's a stereotypical joke. We don't condone any of this.
Hey, but we see this. Like this happens a
Fair.
lot. Yeah.
You've seen it happen. Huh?
I have
Not child marriage, like I've not seen that, but like the moment I got my first job and like we were chilling with family or whatever, back in
Rishtas.
Rajasthan, yeah, like it starts very soon.
Isn't it a thing for you?
हंसते
No, it's
हुए
not like it'll solve any problems, but it's
yeah,
just
it won't.
Some
beta
next,
time ho gaya hai.
next
like,
stage, next step
Yeah.
in life.
Yeah, next step in life. It's also time. Like you're 28.
तेरा तो टाइम हो गया भाई.
Time ho gaya hai bhai.
Fair.
हाँ.
That way, my parents couldn't really care less. I mean, my
Yeah.
brother's married, but apart from that, yeah, one of my parent, they're like, if you don't want to get married, earn for yourself, spend money on yourself is the
Fair.
easiest thing. And yeah,
Fair.
yeah, that's fair. All right. So these have been our ingredients of this episode. Let's get into the chai. So it's a very, I'm not really happy with this study. Honestly, I was looking for different studies and it showed up different things. And with different study I was reading and I could find loopholes in it. Not loopholes, but I could find holes where something wasn't covered. And I don't know if it was out of their own convenience to
Yeah.
prove something or they just missed it. So I'm not really happy with this study. It's a broad study and it's not rocket science. It's pretty understandable. So there were three kind of parenting style looked on, which was authoritative, which is balanced. Authoritative? Which was balanced.
Okay.
Which is a balance between rules and warmth and communication. So there are rules, but it's communicated well and there's a lot of love involved. The next is authoritarian, where it's an extreme, where there are a lot of rules, very strict, not a lot of love. It's a lot of
I'm
authority.
saying this, do this.
Yeah, kind of thing. And the next is permissive, where it's lenient, where it's lenient, no structure, low discipline, where you can do whatever you want. Like you said, if the kid wants something, the parents get it, right? So the study showed a couple of interesting things, and there are a single parent, two parents, like how they are and stuff. So the objective of the study was to assess parenting style and how parents are going about doing this, but also the children's social emotional development. So there were two things that were looked into. And the study showed that a lot of parents were authoritative, which means they were caring, emotional, but also had structure and rules. About 80% of parents in this study, and I think this was done in India if I'm not wrong, which I don't think is good. Oh yeah, it was done. Author Sukumaran,
How many people
I would assume is an Indian.
were like, what's the demographic?
200 parents of preschool children.
Which area? Does it say any of that?
Bangalore.
Oh,
Adds up.
hometown baby.
For 80% to be authoritative.
But
Yeah.
it's also, you have to understand that a lot of these parents are talking for themselves, right?
Yeah, true.
So, and they wouldn't ever want to come across. But anyways, this according to the study, 80% authoritative, 10% is authoritarian, and then you have 3% permissive. I think so 88% is authoritative, 10% is authoritarian, and 3% is permissive. And out of this, so the optimum level or the optimum standard of emotional development, he had set his own standards, he or she, I'm assuming the name is a he, so it's a he, is that parents who were authoritarian, so parents being a parent, when they were authoritarian, 90% of kids had good social development, and then 7% and 0%. Where parents who were very, very lenient, their kids almost had 0% of emotional development, which is quite interesting to me, which I don't know how true that would be.
Yeah.
But I have seen kids with parents who are very lenient, just not able to do anything. Like if they
Right.
don't get something, there's a whole fit thrown.
Fair.
Yeah.
There's no fight in some sense, I guess, or like a resilience to things.
Yeah. And correlation to result in the sense that in terms of families being happy, again, authoritarian would make sense. But interestingly enough, they have
Authoritarian and not authoritative.
a family being, authoritative families being
So
happy.
emotional development would also be most for authoritative.
Yes.
Okay.
For like, there's love, but there's structure, there's communication,
That
there's
makes
care,
sense.
there's
Yeah,
warmth. Yeah. And interestingly enough, I was reading another study where the same things were taken, but so it can't be one parent playing the bad cop and one playing the good cop the entire go. Where parents have done that, again, the optimum social development has been less. A lot of research says that you have to switch roles. You have to be warm and kind so that first of all, your kid doesn't hate you
Yeah,
and love
logically,
you.
yeah.
But also because you can be approached when you can't approach the other. So like if your dad or mom is out of town,
Right.
or whoever is out of town,
Yeah.
you would want to go to your parent, to the parent that's available there, and you would want to know that, right, he or she might scold me, but they're still there.
Yeah.
Right? And even in case of single parents, you have to, that becomes a lot more essential because while growing up, the kid only sees that one single parent and for you to be able to switch roles is very, very important. If you are one extreme, the social development level is taken a hit. So if you're very lenient, the social anyways it's 0%, so then imagine. But if you're authoritative, if you're an authoritarian figure, that becomes another extreme where you wouldn't want to come home, you wouldn't want to talk to your like family isn't a thing for you anymore, and it becomes like that. So yeah, just a very light-hearted conversation to a study that I just found very interesting.
Right. Fair.
All right. So then this has been our episode of the Honey Lemon Tea today, where I've been the chai wala. For the next episode, one of these guys will be. So like, share and subscribe, all that good stuff. Let us know what you think of this chai. Rate this chai, and if this chai tastes any good. Thank you so much for watching. Peace.